We're ready to. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. The School Building Committee. It is 4 o'clock on December 28th today. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Great. I see Chris has moved to approve the minutes, and Kathy is a second. Thank you. We now have opportunity for public input. Seeing no one here, and I see no one additionally on the screen, we'll move on to the next item. Sharon, my screen has a large being recorded sign on it. Is that something I need to go and fix at the other computer?
No, I can come take a look at it though.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great.
You don't have to get rid of it, Chris. It's not going to interrupt the recording.
That's fine. It just blocks 3 people for me. So that's why I wanted to see it. But
Chris,
yes.
If there's a mouse on the table somewhere, all you need to do is use that mouse to click on the
Accept.
Thank you very much. That did it. Sharon, we're all set. Madison, just to catch you up, we're down to public input. Now we're on item number 4, the contractor, architect, and OPM update.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Scott Pellman from Collier's Project Leaders. I'm going to be filling in for Adam. No news yet from him for the people that are wondering, but we believe things could be happening. So I'll start out with an update of some of the scheduled events in the next coming weeks. We anticipate having the flooring contractor out on Tuesday, January 2nd to start the repairs of the heaved floor by the egress door coming out of the gymnasium. And Joe DiPaolo from our office will be coordinating that in the field with JJ Curran. We have a meeting. We were supposed to have a meeting last week. Unfortunately, we didn't have some of the key players were available. So the commissioning agent has coordinated a meeting for MEP coordination commissioning with the entire team. That's taking place this upcoming Thursday, a week from today, January 4th at the school. We're going to be going through the list of all the issues, as well as talking about a little bit further about the energy dashboard. There is a link. We haven't had a chance to try the link yet. We believe the link that gets you to the energy dashboard, you just have to be on the district or the school website to access that. So we're going to be personally testing that next Thursday and then getting a rubric pulled together just to be able to give to staff so they understand how to utilize that resource.
That's great. Thanks for doing that.
Yep. We're currently trying to coordinate our 1-year warranty walkthrough. I put a feeler out today to the team for some available dates. I've heard back from a number of people already the week of January 8th. So sometime during that week, we're going to try and schedule a walk through the school to address the punch list and warranty items, walk through with the architect, the contractor, administration. The 1-year anniversary or the substantial completion date that's driving that is January 24th. So we want to make sure that we have that a couple weeks in advance of that. The acoustical panel procurement, we actually heard back from Amanda Backhouse today, and I had sent off, reviewed it with Randy. I'd sent off a document on that, just outlining some of the options that we have for the 19 classrooms that are on the second floor, 19 classrooms remaining. I understand, again, at the last meeting, there were some discussions and thoughts by the building committee on potentially to what degree or level of acoustical improvement you might be looking at. So there's really 2 options there. We did hear that there is a best value method source document that could be filled out if the procurement exceeded $10,000. We also did get some emails back. Adam had been talking to Bill Treach. Although I think they've indicated that they can do some work out there, I think they've also indicated that the extent of the work, might take quite a bit of time to implement once either the felt or the more robust panels are selected. So we're just looking for a little bit more input on that, and certainly, looking for, appreciate some input back from the committee if you've had a chance to review that document. So I'll stop for a moment there just to see if there's any questions before I push on any further.
Any questions?
Okay. We don't have any change orders to approve tonight, but I am going to talk about the lightning protection along with the masonry work for the top of wall. We've gotten both of those have been approved internally. The masonry was $2,300. Lightning protection was $8,750. We've gotten and been coordinating a new vendor form with the vendors getting their W-9s. So we've submitted all that to purchasing, and we're just waiting for the POs to be issued so we can get that work scheduled. There have been some issues with lighting controls. And the programmer that is available to come out that understands the system that hopefully can make those corrections isn't available until January 15th. We're coordinating that to see if we can bring that forward. We're also going to be reviewing some of those lighting control issues. Specifically the biggest one is I believe that the sensors out by the loading dock actually trigger interior building lights. But we're going to be going through that at next Thursday's meeting with the entire MEP and commissioning team. I understand that the settlement agreement was submitted by Kevin Deneen today to Newfield and their attorney. So we'll have to give them some time to review that. But that there's been quite a bit of work done on that over the last few weeks, and that now is in the hands of the construction team. I think that's all I have prior to getting into the one invoice we have. I do see we have Brian and Steve are on the line.
Yes, I'd like to hear
I'm
from
seeing
them.
anyone from the architect side.
Scott, I did have one question on the gym floor.
Mhm.
The cause is not yet known of the buckling, is that right? And we're hoping to figure it out when opening it up?
I think when they open it up, from my standpoint, and again, maybe we'll learn more when we open it up. Unfortunately, the way it was installed hard up against kind of the outside wall, and if you look at the photos, the end grain is exposed to where the saddle terminates. So if there is any moisture, typically wood will draw moisture in from the end grain much more effectively than it does if it was on the top sealed surface. Most likely the end grain also was not sealed when the floor was sealed. So again, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Once it's cut back and the saddle is extended over the joint and it's separated from the outside concrete wall, I don't anticipate that problem surfacing again, but we'll defer to the professional floor installers.
Okay. You said the way it was installed was it installed as designed?
My understanding from the architect is that there was a space that should have been there that, again, looking at it from the photos, appears that it was hard up against the outside foundation wall or very close to it. But I think that the real indicator is that the saddle did not overlap
The end grain.
the end
Got
of
it.
the wood. And so where the saddle ended at the butt ends of the wood, and that end grain
it.
was exposed.
Have the sweeps been properly reinstalled or added to or in any way improved?
I can't confirm that, but that is on the punch list.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any other questions for Scott?
I do.
Great. Tony?
You very quickly said the word settlement agreement. Is there one?
Tony, he's just referencing the fact that the team that's been involved in mediation through our town attorney Kevin Deneen has officially submitted a fresh proposal to their team for consideration. That was done before the holiday, so it was our
Yeah.
first official communication back with Newfield's legal team or attorney and their team since our earlier mediation effort.
Yeah, I apologize. Poor choice of words. Yes, I should not have used the word settlement agreement, but yeah, communication went back
Okay.
from the Mansfield side back to Newfield and their attorney.
Okay, second totally unrelated question. It occurred to me the last couple of days, I haven't heard anything about the copper and the water in a long time. Where does, anybody have any idea where that stands?
I will, I'll have to check in with Bill and Alan on that, Tony, because they've been monitoring that. I do know that DEP was, also monitoring that very closely. They had yet to require any specific remediation or attention to that. But I will follow up and I'll get a response back out to the committee.
I mean, there were a couple of things happening. One of them was a proposal to put in some kind of mediation equipment, and I don't know whether that ever went in. And the second thing was, we don't know whether the water outside of the bubblers themselves, whether the water is acceptable. So I'd like to know where we stand on that.
Okay, I'll get you a response.
And it's possible that I just missed it, but I don't think so.
Any other questions for Scott? Go, Chris?
Yeah, just quickly, Scott, has all of the kitchen equipment situation been remedied, with the doors and all of that stuff? I know that they were installed, and I never heard anything back from after that installation if it was properly working.
Yeah, my understanding is that is all properly working, but again, we're going to be looking at, both next Thursday and then the following week as part of the final walkthrough.
Thank you, Scott. Anyone else?
What-
Tony, is your
One
hand
more
still up?
question.
Go ahead.
It just went out of my head. Too much eggnog. I don't know. I'll come back to it.
Scott will be here a little while. Okay, Steve or Brian, do you have anything you'd like to add in or make us aware of?
I think our team was out today, Chris, reviewing that roof leak.
Mm.
I don't
Can
believe
you-
they found.
I'm sorry, Steve, can you tell us where it is?
Hello?
Hi,
Can you hear me
Steve.
now?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you now. You mentioned a roof leak. Can you just tell us
Yeah, it was a-
where it is?
I'm not sure where it is specifically, but it was reported by Bill and Alan and then from Adam to us. And
It's over the elevated corridor that looks down, my understanding, that looks down onto the cafeteria.
yeah, it's
Um,
on the sidewall. I
Right,
think
and
it's
there
on
was
the
some,
sidewall.
right, and so water came in and it, there was a little bit coming down through the ceiling of that raised or that open walkway. And it wasn't easy to determine whether it was a roof leak or may have been from the clear story glass. Yeah, the roofer was supposed to be out there yesterday. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get out there, but yeah, I believe Ben was out there again this morning, coordinated with the roofer to have them take a look at it. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
awaiting
it's-
we're awaiting some review from the
All right, can we
construction
hear
team on what
from Steve?
the leak cause may be.
Steve, you actually saw it or your people have seen it?
Yeah, Ben was up there today and yesterday with the roofer. We had the roofer, the siding contractor, on the job. We couldn't find anything that was clearly apparent, as far as something that has breached the, roof assembly or the sidewall assembly. We think there was a considerable, when that leak occurred, I believe it was during that rain-driven area, so we've got to focus maybe up on the sidewall. According to Ben, yesterday and today, that leak isn't occurring. So we're thinking that it's something, wind-driven. So we have to take it another step, and right now we're trying to arrange that.
Okay, great. I mean, great, but not great. Steve, anything else you'd like to?
No.
Okay.
not yet.
I do have a question for you, and Tony, I see you're ready to go again. We've been told that there's still rust on the stands, or the bases rather, of the light poles. And there's a note in our minutes from last time. You wanted to get pictures. Did you get pictures that you needed to get them to your people at Ferguson and so forth? Where does that all stand?
No, we didn't receive pictures. I did bring that up to Fergus's attention, the night of or the day after, your meeting. I'm waiting for a response from them. But, I think
You
they were
still
hanging
moved it
their
along,
hats.
though. You got it moved along.
Yeah, we're trying to. The deficiency report and the 500 pictures that Jeff took of the light poles to make his point didn't show the bases. So Ferguson's hanging his hat. We replaced the poles. We didn't realize the bases were rusting. So, I mean, if they're rusting, they need to be fixed, and we're trying to deal with that right now.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Tony and then Cassie.
My question had to do with the light pole, so I think it was answered.
Okay. Thank you. Cassie?
Kathy, you're
Kathy,
muted.
you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scott, my question to you is, you said that the final walkthrough is coming on Thursday. Is that correct?
No. We're having a meeting this upcoming Thursday with MEP coordination with the commissioning agent, going through some of the MEP systems, lighting controls and so forth. We're trying to schedule a walkthrough sometime during the week of the 8th of January, that week, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. So we've put it out to design, construction, administration. We're compiling available dates. Most likely it's going to take place after 4 p.m. once the school has dismissed for the day.
Thank you. That's not a final walkthrough, correct? We're still,
It's the 1 year warranty walkthrough to identify if there's
Okay.
any other warranty work within the 1 year period that Newfield owns as part of their installation.
okay,
Yeah,
but there will be ongoing look. We're not done then.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean, at that point, we're gonna go through the punch list and again, hopefully we'll come to a consensus. At that point, then, Newfield will make the corrections and then we'll do one hopefully final walkthrough to make sure that everything that was agreed upon the punch list and warranty list has been completed.
Great. Thanks, Scott.
But Kathy, that is a final walkthrough in our opinion, which will address anything that has happened over the past 11 months that needs to be addressed. Then another list is created that we need to react to. But it is a final walkthrough. It's the last bite of the apple.
Correct. It's the last bite at the apple to identify any deficiencies. But again, I think Kathy's saying we will, Colliers, the design team, certainly invite Newfield. Once Newfield says all the corrections have been made, we're going to go around with the list and check the boxes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from any front? Any other information from any front? Okay, very well. We go on to change orders and procurement review and approval.
Yeah, the only item we have for action and approval this evening is one invoice from Weston and Sampson for stormwater monitoring. We've really backed off on their requirements, but we do still, while there are stormwater measures in place on site, they are still retained to monitor those. So the invoice for last month is for a total of $250.
Okay.
I can bring it up on the screen if need be, Chris.
If I don't think it's necessary. Steve?
Sure,
would
I'd like to make a motion to approve the invoice packet dated 12/28/23, including an invoice from Weston and Sampson for a total approval of $250.
Do we have a second? Kathy's our second. Any discussion on this? Okay, I'd like to have a vote. All those in favor of this motion, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, it looks those voting, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, number 6. Item number 6, review and approval of project invoices. We did that, and that brings us to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Kathy beat
Second.
you. No, Kathy, you get the first. You get the
Thank you.
first. You just got to get faster on that unmute button. And do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Chris. We will see you all at our next meeting, January 11th, and have a happy new year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
you.
Chris,
New
thank
Year.
you, Scott.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Happy New Year.